Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Well, I find myself very much in a poor mindset, and I was listening to your conversations earlier, right, and buying vehicles, finding out what the down payment was versus the monthly payment. 34 years old today, I find myself in about $50,000 worth of debt, salaried, making about $88,000 a year. Have a home, purchased it about 4 years ago, so it's gone up significantly, or good enough, I think. In equity, upwards of $100,000. However, the debt to income ratio, I think, has finally caught up, and I think the writing was on the wall a few years ago, but I've been able to kind of stave it off as much as possible. Unfortunately, today I find myself making minimum payments, sometimes missing payments, dealing with late fees, penalties, and really just making the bare minimum, sometimes missing those payments, in turn having negative effects on my credit score, which are obviously impacting me long-term for any loans or anything of the sort. So the question is, well, what do you promote or advise that I do? But what I had thought about is selling the home that I currently have, using the equity to pay off the debt, in turn raise the credit. I should have some money left over at the time to purchase another income-generating property.
That's the last thing we need to look into
man?
is business opportunities. Okay, Danny, I can sense I'm less concerned about your credit score. I'm more concerned about Danny. You sound like a guy who just got punched in the face.
Well, yeah, looking at
you just seem just tired. Like, I'm just done. I'm overwhelmed. If I get one more overdue bill, like, are you ready to just live a different life?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Are you
sir.
single?
No, I'm not. I have a wife at home, 2 children, and I think that's a big part of it, right? Looking at 30 years down the road, what life am I able
How does she feel?
provide them and them?
Is she as exhausted as you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so.
What do you do for a living?
Turn it around.
What's that now?
What's your job? What do you do for a living? Make $88,000.
I'm an EHS manager, environmental health and safety manager.
Okay.
What kind of debt is the 50? Break it down.
Come again? What kind of debt? It's 2 vehicles, about $15,000 each. Some of it is investments that I made in the property, perimeter fence, water softener unit, some credit cards. That's minimal. I think that's like $2,500, $3,000. But the bulk of it's the vehicles, the property improvements.
And this is for your primary home? You did these improvements?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude, stop calling those like property investments. You wanted a water softener on your house. Like, just call it what it is, because it allows you to Band-Aid or duct tape over, like, you wouldn't normally spend that money, or maybe you would, but just call it what it is, dude. I wanted a nice fence, and I built a nice fence. I wanted a water softener, got a water softener. I wanted to upgrade the flooring. I did that. Let's don't wrap it up into, like, you know.
The ROI.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the cars worth?
They're upside down on the vehicles. I bought them like 2 years ago, or
Like, have you checked like Kelley Blue Book private party value on these?
I think it's about 16, 18, and they're value like 10, 8, something like that.
Okay, you said you had 15 on each. You're saying it's 16 to 18 on each?
Something like that. I'll be honest, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's between that 15 to 18 range, and I say that because there's late fees that have compounded on there. So if it was 15 at one point, the late fees have brought it up now.
Well, please do not let this car get repoed. You need to get out of this thing. Even if you're underwater, here's 2 options for you to get out from under this. Number 1, you save up the difference in cash. You have a great income. I don't know where it's going right now. I don't buy that it's just going to the minimum payments, and that, I think there's some spending and lifestyle happening here too, right?
Yeah, I mean, the mortgage payment is $2,700. So
and what do you take home every month?
A big chunk of it is that $5,000, give or take. $5,500.
Yeah, so about half your income is just going to try to cover the mortgage.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you this. Selling the house is a last-ditch napalm. We tried everything else, and we couldn't scrape out of the debt after years of trying. That's when I would say sell the house. But to me, right now, it feels like a cheap shortcut. And I do think this was too much payment for you. I think if we can't get the income up long-term, then selling the house is a good idea just because it's too much of your world. But don't do it as a temporary shortcut.
I find myself. Yeah, and then that's where I find myself. Right, most of my income is going to the to the property, to the house. Where
Do you
I
have
live.
any money in savings?
No, can't. All of it has been slowly chipped away, and that's what I meant by the writing was on the wall. Once I saw that savings slowly fade away, that's when I should have made some drastic changes. But I had enough to kind of make it by up until now, but now it's paycheck to paycheck.
What about your lifestyle stuff? Do y'all go out to eat a lot?
Not anymore.
Okay.
We used to. I tell you, we did have a lifestyle where, comfortable. We would go out and everything was paid tip top. Credit score was in the 700s. This all really turned downhill within the past 4 years and can't quite pinpoint it. And obviously it's my fault. I think too much debt all at once.
Okay.
What are the car payments?
$500 and $600.
Okay. So here's the other option. I mentioned saving up the difference in cash of the difference you're underwater on. That way you can sell the car and you have a clean title. The other option is going to your local credit union and getting a loan for the difference. And so that way, instead of being $18,000 in debt, you're in debt for the difference. And at least that gets you out of the car,
Sure.
frees up a payment. Can you guys live on one car for now, or do you need two?
We essentially are. One of the vehicles, it's not even registered because I can't afford that.
Well, can you work overtime, side hustles?
I'm a salary employee, so it's not a real overtime situation. But yes,
So side hustles.
I'm I'm a handyman. I do a lot of handy work, and I'm not afraid to work. So
What do you charge for handyman work?
I've cleaned out things. I charge by the job. I don't charge by the hour.
But Danny, there's something you make $88,000. You almost make $90,000.
Yes, sir.
I don't understand. Help me
neither.
with this. I don't understand.
Are
where
you
this
investing?
all goes. Yeah. No, you're probably taking a pension, right?
A little bit here and there, but nothing that's steady enough for me to say, "Yep, this is my investment plan." Right? Like
You need to point
dabbled here
all
and
the
there.
guns at the debt, which means no investing, no eating out. Every extra penny we can scrounge up is going toward our smallest balance debt. We're going to knock that out. Which is the smallest debt? Credit card?
Yeah.
Okay, so we knock that
The
out.
problem is, here's the thing, and you kind of picked up on my tone of voice. I have a hard time looking at that when I am behind on the HOA, I am behind on the mortgage payments, and now I'm looking at a potential eviction from my home.
Well, if you're going to get evicted, then we got to sell it before you hit this point. But I think we need to take an honest look. Right now, you don't even know your debt numbers. Go pull your credit reports from all three bureaus. You can do that for free, annualcreditreport.com. Get a real picture, sit down with your wife and say, we're in crisis. We need a plan. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you my book, Breaking Free from Broke, to help you navigate some of this.
Bro,
But
this is happening to you. You can go down with this ship or you can get a path off, but this is happening. You got to look at these numbers. I know it hurts and I know it's scary. You have to look at these numbers.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.